know who we are. You know who we are. We are QPR.
This video will look back at the 1972-73 season, which turned out to be a massive one for the club, as Rangers looked to win promotion back to the top flight. Manager Gordon Jago had a big job on his hands to try and not only build a new team after the sale of Rodney Marsh, but to also win promotion as well. Not an easy task really, but Jago had a vision for how he was going to achieve this. In April 1972, he watched West Germany take apart England at Wembley with a great display of passing and movement off the ball. All outfield players had great technique on the ball and produced an incredible attacking performance. Jago looked to implement that at Loftus Road, and he worked with his assistant coach Bobby Campbell on trying to make that work. Now, the Germans were known for playing out from the back rather than going for long balls, and that was a style you see quite often these days, but wasn't the norm in the second tier of English football in the 1970s. Now, during pre-season, Jago set up a tour of Norway against much weaker sides, with the aim being to instruct the players to play possession-based football and develop a style against weaker opposition. It was all about keeping the ball and moving off the ball, before developing that to always look to play attacking passes rather than playing square. Speaking in his autobiography, Jago said, "The key to our plan was to build confidence in all of our players, to keep hold of the ball even when put under pressure from an opponent. All our training was on control, pass, move, and this was to be taken from the training ground into our game in the first match in Norway. In the first match, we had a 21 pass sequence, finishing with an effort on goal by Mick Leach. The seed had been sown. The style had been accepted by our players, and the confidence required to maintain the control pass style. Now, to help make that work, Jago needed to replace his main source of goals after the departure of Rodney Marsh. But that sale did leave him with some money in his pocket to spend. Jago had previously tried to sign a young striker from Scunthorpe called Kevin Keegan, but Chairman Jim Gregory felt the deal was too expensive. So Jago was used to interference from above when it comes to signing players. Jago became aware that Luton owed money in transfer fees to Manchester United, so looked to take advantage of that with a move for striker Don Givens, who had starred under former QPR manager Alex Stock at Kenilworth Road. Jago agreed a deal with Luton to bring Givens to QPR for £40,000. Now, Jim Gregory was never shy at getting heavily involved, and he started to renegotiate that transfer fee, knocking £2,000 off the price. So Givens became a QPR player for £38,000. And although Jago was thrilled to get the player, it continued an uneasy relationship between the two, where Gregory would always look to assert his control over the manager, which would eventually lead to major issues between the pair of them. But with Givens now leading the line and Jago's new possession-based style coming into effect, Rangers started off the season away at Swindon Town. Goals from Martin Busby and Mick Leach helped us get off to an okay start with a 2-2 draw at the county ground. Our first home match saw Don Givens get his first goal for QPR in an impressive 4-2 win. Jerry Francis, John O'Rourke and a second of the season for Mick Leach completed the scoring to earn a first home win of the season. The unbeaten start to the season continued with a 1-1 draw at Preston, followed by an entertaining 2-2 draw at home in Middlesbrough. John O'Rourke scoring in both games, along with a second goal of the season for Don Givens. West Brom ended our League Cup run at the first attempt with a 2-1 win at the Hawthorns, but back in the league we made it 3 draws in a row with a 1-1 draw at Burnley. Martin Busby on the score sheet for Rangers. The style of play was good, but Rangers were still lacking that little bit of flair in the final third, and they entered the transfer market to fix that problem. Now, a few months earlier, Jim Gregory had approached Gordon Jago about a young forward called Stan Bowles from Carlisle, who had impressed against Rangers. He had great skill and a hell of a lot of confidence, ideal for the new way of playing at Loftus Road. Speaking to Hoops magazine in 2008, Jago said, "We faced Carlisle just after Rodney left, and Stan Bowles played quite magnificently against us at Loftus Road. I thought, He would be ideal for me. A very similar type of striker to Marsh, very talented, able to beat people, a cute pass through the ball. Stan had a different type of personality, but it was similar to Rodney's. They were both very flamboyant, and I love that. After that draw with Middlesbrough, Jago approached Gregory, suggesting a bid for Bowles, and Gregory couldn't write that cheque quickly enough. There was interest from Crystal Palace, and Carlisle wanted £110,000, and at this time there was no haggling for a better deal. Gregory agreed it, and Bowles was a QPR player, the natural successor to Rodney Marsh in that number 10 shirt. Club secretary Ron Phillips was introduced to Stan, and he quickly discovered that he was going to have his hands full. Ron said, "I was rather short asleep when I first met Stan, but my initial impression was that he was one of the nicest players ever to join Rangers. Well brought up, a charming personality, and polite to everyone he met. The transfer was completed remarkably quickly, and the Carlisle secretary seemed particularly happy with it. As Gordon and I were leaving the club to catch a train back to London, Stan asked me if I could spare a moment. He wanted a £20 sub to clear up a few things before he left Carlisle. As he was entitled to a large percentage of his transfer deal, I just gave it to him without a thought. Back in London, he needed another sub the next day, and the next, and the next. You get the idea." During his 7 years Stan was at QPR, hardly a day went by without Stan walking into my office, encountering me in the street, and always asking for a sub on his wages. Stan made his debut for QPR at home to Nottingham Forest, and QPR fans were instantly impressed. A new hero had arrived wearing that number 10 shirt. Bowles scored on his debut in a 3-0 win, with Don Givens getting a 4th goal in 7 games, along with a goal from Andy McCulloch. Now, Rangers' unbeaten start to the season was extended to 8 games after draws against Bristol City and Orient, with Bowles scoring his 2nd of the season. A midweek trip to Hull ended that run as we were thrashed 4-1 before the big match cameras were in town for the visit of Cardiff City, and it was time for this exciting QPR side to click.
Cross again towards Brian Clark, got up well. Woodruff fighting for it too. Foggen. Rangers really a little muddled there, finally getting themselves out of trouble with Venables, and then they're being put in with a chance now as Bowles takes it up. Phillips stopped for a moment, and Irwin, a fine save from Stan Bowles. And Woodruff could only half get to that, couldn't play it where he wanted to, and it's Venables going to take it up for Queen's Park Rangers. The ball for Francis. Still Francis, letting one go, and another fine save by Irwin. Well, it's certainly a beautiful day to be coming to football anywhere. Gillard again. A long one forward this time for Leach. Got Givens in the middle, and Givens now will hit this one! Oh, a fine goal for Queen's Park Rangers! He really caught it beautifully, and from the moment that cross came over from Leach, which was missed by the Cardiff defence, Givens was on it like a flash. Good flick on there by Busby. Carver now for Cardiff. Oh, turn that into the path of Busby, and Busby going on, and he shot wide, but in fact Bowles was offside, and technically there's no doubt about it. But that was quickly closed by the Rangers defence, and Busby turning it on for Francis, in turn now for Givens, and Givens is away again, down he goes, and that is a penalty. Givens brought down, and I don't honestly think Cardiff can have too many complaints. Givens was completely through, that beautiful through pass, and down he went. And so Queen's Park Rangers get a penalty, and it's Givens who's going to take it. He scored one. Can he now beat Billy Irwin in that Cardiff goal? Givens against Irwin, and that's 2-0. makes goal number 6 now in the season for Don Givens. Givens, Hazel, and Busby a long one forward. Venables beautifully on now for Bowles. Oh, a tremendous goal! A fantastic goal by Queen's Park Rangers. The whole length of the field that had the hallmark of teamwork about it from deep in their own half until Bowles finally got hold of it and hammered it left-footed past Billy Irwin. What a tremendous goal to put Queen Park Rangers 3-0 ahead.
A great result and performance then for QPR, and it was Stan's former side Carlisle up next, and Rangers ran riot, thrashing them 4-0. Goals from Leach, Busby, Evans and Jerry Francis. The style of play was certainly grabbing attention, with Venables, Busby and Francis working so well together in midfield, and the attacking flair of Bowles and the finishing ability of Don Givens was just great to watch. Up at Aston Villa, Jerry Francis got the winner in another impressive performance, which moved QPR into the promotion places for the first time that season. It was the first home defeat for Villa, but our style of football absolutely stunned the home fans. Teams were used to opposition players playing defensively away from home, but QPR went all-out attack, pressing Villa high up the pitch. We kept the ball well and attacked with great pace and skill and made it 3 wins in a row. That winning run continued away at Fulham. Stan Bowles on the score sheet again in a 2-0 win, but it was a game remembered for different reasons. Promising young midfielder Martin Busby had started the season really well, but he suffered a broken leg at Fulham that day, and it was an injury that he never really recovered from. Busby was rated highly by the club and the supporters, and he could well have gone on to be a top player for us, but that injury saw QPR go back into the transfer market to try and keep the momentum going. Within 24 hours of that injury, the club had moved quickly and brought in a bit more quality. This time it was Dave Thomas from Burnley, a very quick and direct wide player who was wanted by several top division clubs, but Rangers got the deal done quickly and Thomas became our most expensive signing. Thomas made his debut at home to Sunderland, as we went in with a front 4 of Thomas, Givens, Leach and Bowles, and it was almost unstoppable. Sunderland was certainly no match, as we made it 5 wins in a row, another goal for Don Givens and 2 more for Stan Bowles. That winning run came to an end at Blackpool, but it was such an exciting time to be a QPR fan, with great football and lots of goals. We ended October sat in 2nd place, 7 wins from the first 15 games. Don Givens was top goal scorer with an impressive 9 goals, while Stan Bowles got 6 goals in his first 10 games. Martin Busby's heartbreaking end to the season came after scoring 3 times in the opening few months of the season. November started with a 1-1 draw with Hull City, Stan Bowles scoring his 7th goal of the season, before a Don Givens double helped us to a 2-1 win against Bristol City. Rangers were pushing to go top, but defeat at home to Millwall put a dent in those hopes before we started another unbeaten run. That started with a very tight 1-0 win at Portsmouth, Don Givens getting the winner, before back-to-back draws against Oxford and Luton. The Christmas period saw us get 2 more wins, with another Givens double earning us a win away at Brighton, before Leyton Orient came to Loftus Road on Boxing Day, and were on the end of a free-flowing attacking demolition. A first goal for QPR from Dave Thomas, along with goals from Leach and Don Givens, earned us a 3-1 win, as we looked to end the year safely in the top 2. A trip to Sheffield Wednesday was featured on the big match, but not the ideal way to end the year for Rangers.
John Sissons with the throw. Rodrigues. Only 1 man in the penalty area. That's a good ball to Craig. Craig trying to step past Venables. Venables recovering at the 2nd attempt. No, he's not. It's still Wednesday. That's Sunley. Sissons. Sissons trying to the left foot. That's a swerving shot. Goal! Tommy Craig has got it again. One of the Tommy Craig specials that either go in or miss by miles. And that one was in from the moment he left his foot. In the 8th minute of the match, Tommy Craig's 8th goal of the season. Sunley. Joycey couldn't quite bring it under control. Hooked away only as far as Clement. Sissons. Craig. Tempting to give it back, but Watson there to pick it up. And Watson again. Francis. Through to Bowles. Fine ball player when he gets in his stride, Bowles. That's for Thomas. Thomas trying to go round Rodriguez. Oh, good cross. What a good goal. What a beautifully worked goal. The scorer Leach. Thomas, the man who made it, with a beautiful cross. And a superb header by Leach, which reached Mark Ranger's level. Magnificently worked goal. Bowles, the pass out to Thomas. Thomas round Rodriguez and a fine cross. And the header that finished it all off from Leach. Sunley. Prendergast. A goal! It's been promised for something. It looks like Coyle. No, Coyle's got his hands in the air with the scorer. Prendergast, I think, but a lot of people are raising their fists in the air. The man that's being congratulated will sort out. David Sunley getting a pat on the back. David Sunley, I think, is the man who hit it into the net. Everybody was throwing their arms in the air in delight, but the way the handshakes are being distributed, it looks like David Sunley. Rodriguez. Prendergast did get ahead to it. Watson. Holsgrove thumbing it straight back. Sissons is onside. Gets it back. A header at number 3 on the whistle. Joycey. That's finished it. Sissons put it across beautifully. All Joycey had to do was get his head to the ball, and he did.
So Rangers ended the year in second place, well on course to win promotion to the top flight. Don Gibbons was top goal scorer with 16 goals. Stan Bowles had 8, with Mick Leach on 6 and Jerry Francis on 4. We started 1973 with another win, 3-0 this time against Preston. Another double for Don Gibbons and a 5th of the season for Jerry Francis. It took a replay for us to get past the third round of the FA Cup after a 0-0 draw at home with Barnet. We won the replay 3-0, with goals from Leach, Bowles and a first QPR goal for Terry Mancini. Top of the table Burnley were next up at Loftus Road, as Rangers look to close the gap on the league leaders.
Leach running on it! Beautiful goal! Beautiful goal! Collins. Casper and Fletcher again forward. Collins caught in possession. He was waiting for Casper to get back to an onside position. Gibbons.
After a 4th round FA Cup win at Oxford, it was another home league win as Don Gibbons scored another double in a 3-1 win over Huddersfield. The goals just kept flying. Swindon were next to Loftus Road and thrashed 5-0. Stan Bowles got his first hat-trick, whilst further goals from Francis and Gibbons completed the rout. Now the FA Cup 5th round saw us face top-flight Derby County and a chance for Rangers to test themselves against one of the best sides around.
A 5th round tie at home to Queen's Park Rangers. Anything Roger Davis could do, Kevin Hector could match.
Davis gets it again. Well, Hinton's getting an awful lot of corner practice. Nish. Hector, 2-0. Davis got it. Now Hector. Number 3. Hector showing again what a brilliant finisher he is. They all missed it. Now Davis. Hector. To Davis. Number 4 it is now. Hector. It's Francis. It's dangerous. Leach. Yes. And Queen's Park Rangers have salvaged something. Venables for Queen's Park Rangers. Number 8 is Francis. Number 6, Todd. And Francis was winning that all the time. Now they've got players loose. Oh dear. He's done it. Gibbons. And what a mess that Derby defence was in.
Despite the cup exit, things were looking great for QPR heading into the final 2 months of that season. We sat in second place, a position we'd been in since October. Don Gibbons was top scorer with 24 goals. No player had scored more goals than that at QPR since Rodney Marsh got 44 in the 1966-67 season. Gibbons' signing had been a massive success, and we were now so close to promotion back to the top flight. Stan Bowles was having a great first season with 12 goals for Rangers, and Mick Leach was impressing again. He had 9. An away trip to Carlisle is always a long one, but it was a happy return for Stan Bowles as he scored again in a 3-1 win, and promotion was getting closer and closer. After a 2-2 draw with Huddersfield, Aston Villa came to Loftus Road, where a win would take QPR to the top of the table and move us clear of Villa, who were our main rivals for second place.
Clement. Little chasing back, but he beat him. Here's Thomas. Leach. Getting past Nicol. Oh, fine goal by Mick Leach.
QPR were top, although Burnley would soon be back on top after winning their game in hand. But Rangers were purring and produced some magical football in the run-in to move clear of the chasing pack. Blackpool were no match for Rangers. Another thrashing, 4-0. Bowles, Francis, Thomas, and an own goal of difference in that one. And then we went one better against Portsmouth, 5-0 this time. Thomas again on the score sheet. Venables got his first of the season in another emphatic win. A trip to Oxford, though, ultimately cost us the title. Phil Parkes was missing for injury, and we narrowly lost 2-0, which handed the initiative to Burnley. Promotion was the aim, though, and Don Gibbons made it 25 goals for the season against his former club Luton in a 2-0 win. Rangers had 1 foot in the First Division, and a win at Millwall would absolutely guarantee it.
Rather wild kicking there by Brown, but it's Thomas now in possession for Queen's Park Rangers. Bowles played back to Venables, all very tight and restricted in there. Francis now, Bowles, and now opening out again for Francis. Good controlled play there by Queen's Park Rangers, and a shot by Jerry Francis that is way past the post of Brian King. Brian Brown with the free kick. Bolland again, hopeful of leading him first. Harry Cripps trying an overhead. Kitchener there too. And the Millwall crowd behind that goal incensed that there was a handball, but in fact it was a purely accidental one, if it was one at all, in the helter-skelter of that penalty area. And quite right, the referee didn't give a penalty. And still at 0-0, the ball with Watson, and now with Thomas. It's a better looking cross, and it's there by Gordon Gibbons. For so long, Millwall had the chances. Rangers had seemed to lack a bit of ambition, as they're already, of course, in the First Division. But then the long cross from the left, and Don Gibbons there with his head before the Millwall defenders, making it goal number 26. And away goes Bowles. Oh, neatly over Dorney's head. Good play here by Bowles. And alas for him, for the Rangers fans as well. And he's apologising to them. There wasn't the power of finishing there, but that is the final whistle. And it's victory for Queen's Park Rangers that mathematically now certainly takes them into the First Division. They were assured really before they came. The only goal of the game being scored by Don Gibbons just 5 minutes from the end.
Gordon Jago had put together a brilliant team, adding real quality to the attack and producing a style of play that was just great to watch. We finished the season in style, beating Brighton and Fulham at home, both games ending 2-0, with new fans' favourite Stan Bowles scoring in both of them. The season ended with a trip to Sunderland, who had just won the FA Cup, on a night with an infamous Stan Bowles story. Sunderland had put the FA Cup trophy on display right by the pitch, so Stan had a bet with his friend Carlisle Pete that he could knock the cup off the table. And I'll let Stan tell the story.
Well, it was between, it was two of us actually, Tony Hazel and me. We just had a bet, and he hit it and I hit it, and it actually caused a riot. It was on News at 10. It was the headlines on News at 10. Because it was just after the FA Cup final, and they were playing our last game against us at home, raiding the trophy. So we had the bet. Anyway, it got dented, funny enough. Yeah, that's probably Tony Hazel's kick, not mine. And we beat them 3-0 as well, made it worse. And I was going around to their players, you know, because they beat Leeds in the final. And I was winding them all up, and I said, yeah, beat Leeds. But obviously they've been celebrating, but we beat them easy. I mean, how they beat Leeds, I don't know.
So after nearly causing a riot, Bowles scored twice in a 3-0 win, making it 9 wins in the final 12 games of the season. We missed out on the title by just a single point, but it had been a brilliant season. Our second ever promotion to the top flight, and we'd done it in real style. This QPR team had been built over a few years, and it flourished under the management of Gordon Jago. The style of football was something we just hadn't seen before. It was brilliant to watch. Jerry Francis, Don Gibbons and Tony Hazel all played 46 games, with Clement and Parks both playing 45 times each. Parks kept 22 clean sheets in his 45 games that season. Don Gibbons was top goal scorer with 26 goals, a great first season, which included 3 penalties, and he scored twice on 5 different occasions. Dan Bowles got 18 goals in an impressive first season, which included 1 hat-trick, whilst homegrown Mick Leach got a career-best 12 goals for QPR and had played a pivotal part in getting Rangers promoted. Rangers were back in the top flight, and were not going there to make up the numbers. With a squad full of young, exciting players and some really experienced players as well, it was a great time to be a QPR fan. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a like and subscribe to the channel.
We are the club that's on our way. We aim to win each game we play. Just watch and see, and you'll find out the game we play, what it's all about. We know you're with us all the time. As Rangers fans, you'll help us take the lead. And once we're there, things will be fine. Our aim's to reach the top, and that is all we need. We are the team you love to cheer. We gain new fans each single year. So all we need, a mighty roar, so we can tell who you're shouting for. Rangers, Rangers, you are the best. Rangers, Rangers, you beat the rest. Rangers, Rangers, everyone can see you're the team for me. We have a squad so full of flair, there is no team that can compare. And we feel sure each team we meet will find us strong and hard to beat. In hoops of blue and white we know that if we play our best, the fans will shout for more. And when we play at Loftus Road, it's worth at least 2 points for us, and that's for sure. We are the team you love to cheer. We gain new fans each single year. So all we need, a mighty roar, so we can tell who you're shouting for.